Some of you have asked, what does it look like to spend 5 minutes a day Subitising with your class? And it's a tricky question to answer because honestly, there's so many different ways you could go about it. I'm not here to tell you that anything you might already be doing is wrong or that even what I'm about to show you is the best way of going about it. But this video is more for those people to get started as a general idea of, what Subitising can look like in your class as a really nice, quick, efficient warm-up to build number sense. So first off, we want to pick a set of cards that has a good difficulty for our students. So where they're going to be able to get some nice and easy, but some of the patterns and stuff that appear might be a challenge for students, because at the end of the day, we really want them thinking deeply about numbers and how they can be broken up into different ways. So let's just say I had a really good feeling that most of my class can Subitise up to 5, and I might want to stretch them, and let's just pick random sets from 5 to 10. So then I would start to go through the flashcards. And so I would click next, and I like to ask, instead of having all students call out straight away, because I want everyone to think for themselves and come up with an answer, I like my students to put one thumb on their chest as soon as they think they've got the answer. And so then as soon as I get a lot of thumbs up, then I can either ask everyone to call out what it is in unison, or occasionally I might pick individual students. And then after they've called it out, we can bring it back up and check to see if we got the right answer. And it also, by bringing it back up, gives a chance that maybe a student yelled out and thought this was 5. It gives them a chance to think about where they went wrong with their answer. Then we'd move on to the next one and go, all right, cool. What was it? Thumb on your chest. So what was it? Hopefully they yell out 9. And then we'd go back and we could talk about it. And so what we want to do is really promote rich discussion around when we're then talking about whether or not we got the right or wrong answer. So then once you bring it back up, you might be able to ask the question, well, how did you know it was 9? And they might say something like, oh, I could see a 6 here with these 2 3s and 1 more. So I knew that was 7, and I saw 2 more. So I went 7, 8, 9. And then you might point to someone else and they might go, oh, I saw 3 3s. So I saw 1 3, 2 3, and then 3 3s here. And I know that 3 3s is 9. And then another one of the students might say, well, I know that 9 is 3 3s, and I just imagine this dot going back here and this dot going back here, and then I would have a cube. And so like this one, for example, double 4 is 8. Perhaps most of your students get that one straight away, and you might just move straight on to the next. And so what I'd like to emphasize is that what's important isn't necessarily the exact way we're going about doing it in our class, but that it's happening and that we're giving students multiple opportunities to visually recognize quantities and then discuss those quantities with each other, with yourself. Sometimes you'll get them to chat with a pair, just mixing it up, giving it variety, making sure that we're talking about numbers and talking about all the different ways that we can visually see those numbers and how they interact with each other. And so on the other hand, if you've got a way or a preference for teaching Subitising, write it in the comments so that we can all learn from each other and help our students build, hopefully, some really strong number sense. All right, go math it up.